It's fair to say our renovation had got off to a rough start this year. The weather had been relentless, the setbacks kept stacking up, and somewhere along the way we'd lost a bit of our spark. But then, as it always seems to, spring started to make itself known and changed everything.
Love is the sweetest thing.
Welcome back to Restoring Les Chartres. We're Remy and Hugo, and together with our cat Phoebe, we've been slowly breathing life back into this historic townhouse in the southwest of France. Since the new year, we've been up in the attic, wrestling with twisted beams and tackling some stubborn mould to turn a forgotten space into something warm and livable. But progress up there has been hard won, so we made the call to split our efforts and get our hands in the soil before spring fully takes hold. We'd been saving some old windows from the house with dreams of building a little greenhouse, and with a rare break in the weather, it felt like the moment to finally get started, or so we thought. So today I'm going to make the best of the non-rainy weather, although it still looks a bit grey. It might rain a little bit later. And we're going to try and make a little greenhouse. We're going to try and make it out of these old window frames that came from the original inside windows on the front of the house. Unfortunately, we sadly couldn't save them, but we kept them so that we could use them one day for something like this. The idea is I'm going to try and make a little small lean-to greenhouse using these that is just going to be for starting seeds for the spring. It's going to be a very basic structure, but hopefully it should prove relatively useful in starting the seeds. So I'm going to start laying out stuff and then we'll get to making that now. Ooh-la. Well, as you can see, the lack of rain didn't last long. I got some way yesterday with the project while it was actually dry, but it took a little bit longer than expected, as usual. And today it is horrible weather. So I'm going to try and get the rest of it done, but it might be proved too difficult with this wet weather. We'll see how far I get. have at least finished the roof and the general structure of this, so it's a little bit watertight, although I still need to replace the window here. But it's probably the driest part of the garden right now because the weather is absolutely atrocious. I've got so soaked doing that, it is insanity. I was going to put on the doors next, but I think it's just too wet to do any cutting and stuff outside, so I'm going to focus on making the inside a little bit nicer and put some boarding up to hide the wall a little bit so that I can remain a little bit dry. But yeah, wow, what a crazy weather. So whilst the rain kept me off the greenhouse for a day, I've been getting on with something else I've been meaning to do. This video is sponsored by Reolink, and this is their new Elite Floodlight Wi-Fi camera, which I put up in the front garden, which was fortunately very easy to install. We live in a residential area of Bordeaux with people walking past, cars driving past, so putting up a camera in the front just made sense to us. It shoots 4K, 8 megapixel, and the image is super sharp. I can zoom in and see every detail in the front garden, and it's got a 180-degree vision, so I only need one camera to see everything in the front. There's smart detection too, so it knows the difference between a person, car, or animal, so I'm not just getting pinged every time Phoebe runs around the front garden. I've set up a zone in the front so I get notified as soon as someone just crosses the driveway line, which is really useful for us. And it means I can zoom in and see what mischief Phoebe is up to in the garden. And then there's a feature that sold it to me, which is the floodlight, all 3000 lumens of light. We didn't have a light at the front before this, so now when we come home late or I'm out gardening in the evening, the whole garden just lights up. You can set it to trigger on dusk or just when movement is detected. So if you're interested in the Elite Floodlight Wi-Fi camera, the link is in the description now, and thank you very much for Reolink for sponsoring this video and helping creators like us grow. Right, it is nice weather, so let's get back to that greenhouse.
So you might be wondering what I'm doing here, making this little nest of some kind. I saw something on Pinterest and I had the idea of creating essentially a little border around this tree. I had to trim this tree and the other one, so I had loads of sticks hanging around. And the idea is to create a first circle like this, and then tomorrow I'm going to make another one which will be a bit larger and fill the space between these two circles with soil, mainly because here the roots of these trees are very close to the surface, and so it's been very hard actually to plant anything around here. So yeah, the idea is to elevate the soil surface basically between these two borders so I can plant more things and they have a bit more space with their roots to go down. But I really underestimated how much sticks I would need for this, and also a lot of the stick that I've got is really brittle, so they're just breaking. So I might need tomorrow to go buy some actual proper hazel sticks or something that's flexible enough to use for that, which is a shame. I was really hoping this would be a free project. Okay, so quick update on this project. I did go to the store and unfortunately I didn't find branches that could work. They didn't seem to sell them. Luckily, my neighbor has been doing some gardening and trimming down their trees, which means I've actually asked them if I could get the branches and they said yes. So I'm super excited because they've got a lot and I hope they work for the project. So I'm going to pick them up and then I'll get started on making the outer ring for this tree. Okay, so I think I'm done for the day. I've managed to finish my project for the main tree, which is good. I'm not going to yet fill the inner section with soil yet because I've got some bulbs coming out. So I think late spring I will remove the bulbs and put some soil in and add some like summer plants in there. I mean, ideally I would love to do loads more of these, like create maybe ones with height or like plant support, but realistically this was a lot of work. I spent ages stripping the leaves. It creates a massive mess, and I think the main thing is that you do need a lot of branches, much more than is easily accessible when you live in a city like us. Now I need to clean up before it gets too dark, so wish me luck.
So an update on the attic progress that we have been making. For those of you who are new to this channel, we are planning to renovate the whole space up here, putting 2 bedrooms and an ensuite bathroom. In the last video, I shared the woes I was having with putting up the supports or the suspense into the very twisted and not straight beams that we have up here. It was a bit of a nightmare, but thank you very much all of you guys for such kind comments about the lack of progress that we made up here. It was very much appreciated, so thank you very much. We have been continuing on with all of the supports and putting them in up here. We're making decent progress, slow progress, but decent progress. I didn't really want to put more of the putting in the support progress into this video because I think it's just a little bit too boring for you guys, but we will have an update on the progress of the attic in the next video where we'll be putting in the insulation, hopefully. And I just wanted to give a quick update about the mold that we found a couple of videos back and give an update on what is the findings from that. If you guys don't remember, when we removed the old insulation from up here, we found an area that was water damaged and had some old mold in around the north end of the attic space. And we were a little bit worried about this because there is a very prevalent mushroom in this part of France which is very destructive to wood. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but I'll put it on screen now. But it is a very big problem around this part, and if you basically find that mushroom in your beams or in any part of your home, you kind of have to replace everything because it is so invasive. So we were really worried that it was going to be that. We were going to have to replace the whole roof essentially. Fortunately, we got an expert in. He did some tests, he evaluated the space, and it is all good. There is nothing to worry about. It's just old mold, water damage that is not active anymore, and it is not a worry for the beam's structural integrity. They're in pretty okay state. We don't need to replace anything. We might just do some small reinforcements just to be safe, but the takeaways is that it is all good and we do not have to replace everything. So that is good news at least. So we are making slower progress than we wanted up here, but at least we don't have the big problems of the mold damage. So again, more updates on this space in the next video, and we'll see you then.
So the greenhouse is almost finished and I really, really love it. I think Hugo has done an amazing job. It's really practical in a way. I really love the shelving system that he has created. It's really useful that we are able to remove them because maybe in the winter I'm going to be able to put maybe some lemon trees in there and keep them a little bit warm. But also I think it's really space efficient. We don't have a huge garden and so this kind of like wardrobe size is very convenient. And more importantly, I'm super, super happy that we've been able to save these old windows and give them another use. It's not completely finished. I still need to repair one of the glass panes on the other side. And I also need to paint the main handle, but I need to use metal paint. And so for that, I need to finish painting the rest of the greenhouse, which basically comes up to my main question. I don't think we really like the colour that we chose. We chose Slipper Satin by Farrow & Ball, which I thought would look a bit creamier than what it does now. I think we really underestimated how bright and harsh the light is. Like this is pure south-facing light. So if you have any opinion, ideas, please let us know in the comments. In the meantime, it's completely usable, so I am very much looking forward to starting my seeds and fill the garden with new plants.